Hey, Dr. Lindsey and Wendy here. The ISHRS sent out a thing where they want clinics to discuss on social media some of the disasters they've seen from people trying to find bargains. And so we got this kid who is not currently here. He's actually a medical assistant at another doctor's office.
Yeah, he's a nurse.
Yeah, he's a nurse now?
Yeah.
All right, well, and he's going to roll in and we'll complete this interview whenever he gets here. But Alex went to Mexico, right?
Yes, he was starting to lose the little corners here, and he decided to go to Mexico because it was cheaper, definitely cheaper. He paid around. Can I say how much he paid?
You can say. Yeah.
So he said, he paid $1,500 plus his ticket. So he ended up spending like $3,000. He had a friend in Mexico that he stayed with. So he spent around $3,000. So he was comparing prices in the U.S. and he figured, well, it's half price.
And unfortunately, they did a strip that left a kind of a goofy-looking scar.
He has I think what happened is they probably
They just
removed.
did
They did a short
So here's
one.
a picture of his scar.
Yeah, so I think it was too short or probably a little wide, and that's why it stretched.
Yep. And then they brought his hairline too low, which he's had to laser off.
It
Well, hang
would-
on. So they brought his hairline too low and too sparse. So here's his hairline, and then we fixed him with FUE.
We did a few. And he was what, like 7 years ago,
That's a
something
long
like
time
that.
ago.
It was a long time ago. So
And then, so we got him a decent hairline, which you see in this picture. And then he went back and lasered off the hair
she lasered off the hair, and then
that the other people put in.
yes, and and then this is a good conversation, to show. And I'm sure Alex will tell you that I am sure he was excited to have such a low hairline, because we have a lot of patients that say, why you put it at so high? And for him, it was a good idea. Like he thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna have this style of hair this hairstyle with a low hairline if that's what he wanted.
At age 23 or something.
At age 23. But, and I told him, I said, well, did the doctor recommend it against it? And he said, well, and he speaks, no, didn't the doctor recommend it against it? And he said, well, look, I know.
Just give me whatever you want. So we were supposed to make this video short, so we're going to put Alex's little interview in now. Hey, Dr. Lindsey, I'm here with Alex, who had surgery in Mexico back in, 2009, 10?
2011.
And then you were unhappy with that because they gave you probably the hairline that you wanted, but it was a low, goofy-looking hairline.
That was a very low one, and they did a very old-fashioned technique that I never liked it. And then
And you just keep looking at the camera, and they put your hairline way down here.
Yes.
And I'll put some pictures up of you in between us.
So you can see from here, all the way down.
Sparse and pluggy. And you're in the medical field, and you've been lasering those off, right?
Yes.
Well, actually, then you came to see us, and we gave you we gave you my hairline, which is what will age reasonably well.
That's what you have.
And then, when was that? 2012 or 13? I can't remember.
Yeah, that was 2013.
Okay, and it's Thanksgiving of 2018 now, so
Yes.
5 years ago.
Yes, 5 years ago.
And so what, when they gave you this low, goofy hairline, is that what you wanted down in Mexico?
Not at all. I just wanted to have like a nice hairline, very natural, but that never happened. I think, they draw my hairline too low, and the doctor just started plugging hairs everywhere, different ones.
Right, 2s and 3s, it was all kind of clumpy.
It's like a doll,
Yeah.
Have you seen her doll? Yeah, like that.
Yeah. For you watching this, we've got lots of plug videos. Plug is the 4-letter word of hair transplants, so we don't do it anymore. That's exactly what it's like, the G.I. Joe style and Barbie plugs that came out when we were kids.
That's how it looked like. That's why I still have the scars. If you see, I'm trying to do laser, but it looks like holes.
Right.
and I'm trying. I haven't done it for a little while, so we can see the
Right.
difference.
And so there should be a picture right between us
Yes.
now,
Uh-huh.
and I have some arrows pointing.
But you can see if I don't do laser like at least every month, they're coming back. So that was a really bad surgery.
Right. And then when we worked on it, was I pretty upfront with you?
That was amazing. I can even tell the difference between my natural hair or the one that
That we put in.
you guys implant. That was amazing job. Seriously.
I appreciate it. What else, Wendy? Wendy, you come stand where I am. Ask him anything. And you can, why don't you ask a few things in Spanish so that some of our Spanish.
Oh, look how short I look. No, so we did Alex through FUE because
Oh, that's
with
right.
all the big grafts that he had in his hairline up to here, and we said we cannot put it this low. We need a bunch of FUEs, so we ended up doing FUEs to place in between to make it look more natural into his hairline.
Right. And so right between you now, there should be a close-up of Alex's hairline.
And that's, yeah,
Today.
today, yeah.
And
And
what
then,
else should?
because
the
yeah,
viewers
I
know?
mean he was traumatized until this date.
Yeah.
6,
And how
7
old,
years.
how old are you now, Alex?
I'm 35.
35. Well, you look like you're about 25.
And he's like, I know, I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the hairline.
Yeah.
So, and you went to Mexico because it was cheaper? Is that what?
I went to Mexico because it was cheaper and they promised they have the best techniques ever, and
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's. Let me get over there. So you stay there.
Look at
Do it
this.
over.
It looks like it. Look, no, I look too short.
No, you're good. So you said that you went to Mexico because it's cheaper. Now we see people literally every week. They go to
Any part of the world.
the Indian subcontinent, Southern Europe,
South
or
America.
right down the street and to get something cheap. And generally, you get what you're going to pay for.
yes.
So,
yes.
and you could have probably prevented that by just doing a little bit of research.
Yes.
So the reason why we do all these silly videos is so that people can watch them before they do the same mistake.
Yes.
They just do just a little bit of research and see some pictures.
That's true. That's true.
All right.
I really agree.
What else, Wendy?
Is that? And now, and he had the previous one through scar strip.
Strip strap.
Through a strip.
Right.
And
I'll put
we-
that picture up right between you guys now.
Yeah, and so he's doing laser hair removal, some microneedling to help in that scars there, microneedling to help in that scars there, and we still are saving money, right, Alex,
Yes.
to get the scar revised.
Yeah.
Because it was
Yeah.
it was done low. It was done. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
little,
wide. It's a
on
little
the
wider
stretch.
there.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything in Spanish so that anybody else?
Spanish patients.
We don't have to.
Sí.
Okay.
Can
No,
I say
'cause-
something?
yeah.
Sí, yo pues lo que quiero decir es que por favor hay muchos sitios que prometen resultados y a veces cometemos el error de ir a cirujanos que son cirujanos de pronto generales o se especializan en otra cosa y le dicen a uno que sí, que pueden hacer un trasplante de pelo, pero el trasplante de pelo es una cirugía bastante delicada y no cualquiera lo puede hacer y que quede un resultado natural, la verdad. Y pues aquí donde el doctor Lindsey, la verdad, 100% yo lo recomiendo, que los resultados van a ser naturales 100%.
So I can translate that. He was saying that as he said it in Spanish because he wanted to do the Latino community. And what he basically said was, you go to a plastic surgeon, which sometimes don't specialize in hair, and they say, oh yes, we can do it, and tell them that they can do it, but they're not what's the word? It specializes in hair transplants. They just do it, if one shows a month, and then say, yes, we do it.
You see that all the time.
Yes. And then he says, you should look for somebody that specializes in hair so they can have a good result and natural results, not just something to get put in just because you want hair to put in hair anywhere you're going to place
That's what
it.
they do. They put hair anywhere, but they don't follow. There is a lot of stuff that you have to like.
Oh, and,
do.
and Alex said, you have a hair transplant should be, I'm looking there, should be well thought, planned,
Uh-huh.
and done well. Like, and it's only somebody that would experience will be able to walk you through and think about
The
Right.
details.
The
especially
details,
in the
yeah.
hairline. That's very.
Right. And so, using my planting analogies, it's just like if you have a backyard and you want to design it, you don't do what some people do, which is to
Like
plant a
painting
tree
things.
here.
Uh-huh. There you go.
Which
yeah.
any moron can really do. You come up with a plan and you execute it and you work towards a goal, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Because any idiot can plant 12 trees, but to design the landscape and carry it out and get it done right, it takes some skill. It's the same thing with hair.
Same thing. There you go.
All right, so Alex, thank you so much for coming.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
And so, to summarize, Wendy, I mean, everybody that wants to bargain, there's good doctors here in the U.S., there's good doctors in Mexico, and good doctors in Turkey, but there's a lot of crappy ones all over. And so, you, the potential customer, really need to do some research, and that means, look on discussion forums. If you can, talk to a patient that doctor's worked on, not just an office staff that will tell you whatever they're getting paid to, and make sure that you look at some videos and some pictures. There should be plenty of them available. I mean, the internet's, you can put crap up all the time. Just make sure you see plenty of work by the doctor that you're going to, whether it's for a nose or a hair transplant or gallbladder or what. Just look into it.
You honestly, like, now with the internet, you research hair transplant going bad, and then you can see all the bad things that could happen, and it's scary. And I think the best thing to do is educate yourself, ask real questions, and honestly have a feel. And don't have one consultation, have plenty of consultations.
Yeah.
So you can decide, who are you going to trust. Why is this doctor saying this, and why is this doctor saying this, and what is this doctor reasoning for doing this things? And
If
I think
it
you'll
sounds
be
too
able
good
to
to be true, it probably is.
Yeah, and then it gives you enough information to make an educated decision.
Yeah. And if we can help you, please give us a call.